guys, Boston Chris and Katie Lynn back again with another episode of the Chris and Katie Show. Jesus, I got lost there for a minute. The Chris and Katie Show,
Oh,
that's what this is.
that's
And
not a good start.
no, we're off to a fabulous start. This is episode 4, number 4. And
Oh,
we have some cool things to talk about this week. So typically, what we do is we just pick out 5 topics or 6 or whatever we think will get us through 90 minutes or so, and yeah, we just kind of talk about those things, and then you guys pay attention. And I like how that works. So thank you guys for paying attention if you are. First of all, I got to give props to HyperX Gaming for supporting us and sponsoring yet another episode. And of course, if you want to hop on the train, you can sponsor as well. You can email us at the Chris and Katie Show, all spelled out, at gmail.com. And just email me. I'll show you, or I'll let you guys know how you can sponsor and all that stuff. But let's get to Miss Katie Lynn. How's everything going in your world?
pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. We're getting hyped up because the granddaughter is coming from Louisiana in
Hmm.
5 days, which means grandbaby number 1 is coming as well. So
Yay.
we're excited. We have not seen Mandy since 2021 or 22.
Dang.
She was in the army for a while, and there's just a whole convoluted story around that. But she was in the army and had some injuries from being in boot camp and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
needless to say, she was tied up with the military for a year or so. And now she's home, but she's still like 6 hours away from us. But finally, we get to see her, which is going to be fun.
Yay, that's so exciting. I'm
Yeah.
excited for you.
And I know that you have a show coming up. I don't know if this will be out before then. It might be.
Which one?
Maybe not. The one May 31st, Ryan Savallo and yourself. Tell us
Right.
about that show.
Me and my boy. That's my dude. I love that guy. Um, do you know him?
I do not.
Have you?
I don't.
I didn't think you did. He's pretty awesome. He's from Grand Saline,
Okay.
so out over there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we played together quite a bit. He's really awesome. We're doing like a song swap kind of thing at Union 28 in Midlothian.
Which is 90 minutes from us, and I really want to go. And I'm trying to find a way of getting ourselves out there. It's tough because we have a
Yeah,
couple of shit boxes, and we can't really depend on them to go very far, unfortunately.
I get that.
Um, yeah, but man, there's so many exciting things happening. Of course, not just with this show, but I'm starting another thing called 10 Minutes with Boston. I don't know if you've seen that.
Nah, I haven't.
I sent out some sneak peeks on that today, and just kind of a couple of exciting things coming, and can't wait to share it with everybody. Um, but yeah, let's get into this week's episode number 4, and
Oh,
I am unbelievably unprepared. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about this week um, is the brand new tattoo that Miss Katie Lynn got, and I have to show this to everybody. Let me show it to y'all first. I just want to make sure this works. So here's the tattoo.
dun,
Now,
dun, dun,
now I'm showing
dun.
this to y'all, but Katie Lynn cannot see this right now. I'm just showing it to
No.
y'all. Katie, can you tell us about the tattoo, what it says, and what it means? Like, what's the story behind it?
Yeah. Um. So there's a joke to this too. But it's a tattoo, obviously, that my boy Charles Chapman did. He did my arm too. I'm sure you guys have seen it here and there or something. But um, he posted that design, and I was wanting to get a tattoo for my dad that recently passed away back in August. Just and I thought the lantern. I was like, that's awesome. And I've been listening to a song a lot. This is the funny part. I never thought I would get lyrics from Coldplay tattooed on myself, but I did. And but it's really good lyrics.
So it's
It's
cut
from
off at the bottom. So what does it say? What are the lyrics?
there's another picture of it somewhere, but it says the light that you left me will ever glow, and it's from Everglow by Coldplay.
Right. Very cool stuff. I saw this tattoo and I was like, wow. First of all, I've never had my thigh tattooed. So
It
that's
it was okay. I was there forever, but like I said, that's my boy, so we just bullshit
chit
around
chatting.
forever.
Yeah,
But
it's just chatting.
yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I got there at like 3 o'clock, and I didn't get home till 1 a.m. or something like that. So, but it was probably about 7 or 8 hours
Yeah.
of like just straight. But it was brutal. My arm, it took about 9, and it didn't bother me
Mm.
hardly at all. I mean, like like the last couple hours were pretty rough, but this leg, I mean, brutal. I was almost crying.
Well, did you have to put your leg
Halfway
in
through.
like an awkward position, or were you at least
No,
comfortable?
I was just like sitting, like sit up straight,
Okay.
like sitting, and
Yeah.
like he was just over my tattoo, like that. Awful.
Hmm.
Oh,
So when
but
I
so
got
worth.
my ankle done, I had to sit almost like in stirrups, like I was pregnant or something, and like my leg had to be bent this way almost. Oh, it was rough. It was
Well, it
rough.
was rough for me too because it doesn't sound that bad, but when you're sitting up straight for 7 to 8,
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
sucks.
just sitting
Just sitting.
still, just being in one spot for 7 or 8
Yeah.
hours, and like not moving. Like, whew, I can't imagine.
Yeah. It
So,
was rough.
for those of you that may not know, Katie's dad passed away late. Was it late last year? Remind
Yeah,
me.
in August.
It was August. Yeah. So
Mhm.
end of the summer. Just an incredible guy. Every time I was around him, he perked me up, and that's not easy to do. But your dad was something else, a man of few words, and when he spoke, he meant it. Right?
Yeah. You remember those shirts we got made
Um, Remind me.
that had my dad's face on them?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And it said that's what Daryl said or something like that, or that's what Daryl said.
So, do you still have some of them shirts?
I don't. Okay, we have like a couple. Like my mom has one. I think I have one somewhere. Like a few people have them, but we should bring that back.
Yeah, I always remember the videos of was it him and Sal from, was it Sal,
Tommy. It was.
Tommy from
I, I
AGT?
I think it was Tommy. So it was Sal. That's his cousin. Tommy.
Okay, yeah,
He
yeah, yeah.
the hot rods and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, and
Mhm.
the you know Tommy. I forget his last name, but yeah, they would meet outside like every morning outside the hotel, and Tommy would be smoking a cigar. My dad go outside and smoke his cigarettes. They just sit outside in the morning, or like they just go sit and smoke out in front of the hotel. Mm.
Your dad
They were
always
always
had
there with
the
each other.
same 2 words for me every time I saw him. It never changed. It was always "What's new," and it just didn't matter. Like what's new, and that would be it. Like that's all he would say, and that would start the conversation. What's new?
It's so funny because he is a man of few words, but he likes all the information.
I know.
So,
Hmm.
like, what's new? Okay, I saw one the other day, a comment on my Facebook, a post or something. And so, not a lot of people know this, but my dad loved Facebook. And he had an account, but he didn't want to use it because there was nothing happening on it, is what he said. So,
Hmm.
he was always logged into my mom's.
Right.
So, he was just going through her feed. And he would comment stuff on my page. That's my mom. He'd
I
be like,
know.
"This is dad."
I know he was a frequent commenter on YouTube
Yeah.
in the we talked about 2 or 3 weeks ago where we talked about online bullying and how absolute how absolutely rude people were during your AGT run. She was 12 years old, guys, and if you could see some of these dang comments on YouTube, it was disgusting. But
Rough.
your dad was on there all the freaking time, just like a damn
Yeah.
goalie, like keeping the damn ball out of the net. You know what I mean? Just defending his girl. Just a one of a kind guy. I'm blessed to have known him, and I love the tattoo. It looks great. Looks really, really good.
Thank you. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. I think the pain was well worth it.
Of course, of course. So I'm going to turn it over to Katie Lynn. She's going to tell you guys about a couple of places that are shutting down, and this should be interesting. Take it away.
Okay, so good segue with my dad. So this was my dad's favorite place. I'm talking, okay, We got that Grand Slam going on up in here. He wanted sausage. Man, Denny's is going out of business, y'all. It's going out of business.
Well, that's
It's
the
awful.
rumor. They're not openly saying that they're going out of business.
But they're shutting down a bunch.
And that's
Yeah.
typically an indicator for
Yeah.
sure of that. Let me read a little bit about this.
It
Um,
says 57 have closed in the past year.
yes, 57 store closures. That was as
And
of February 13th. So,
and then they'll be forced to shut down more.
right. So
They're going out,
basically, the
man.
way this has worked is the chief financial officer, whose name is Robert Verostek, says that they need to generate $1 million to stay open. And I'll tell you what, the first time I was reading this article, I could only picture this guy with his finger up to his mouth, like Dr. Evil, you know. We need $1 million to continue to bring you our Grand Slam. I don't know. I'm a weird human being, Katie. It's all good. But supposedly he is blaming inflationary pressures as to why these restaurants need to be shuttered. And he's looking to get back to a more normalized rate of restaurant closures in 2024, which leads me to believe that perhaps they're not closing down totally, because
Yeah.
the article also says 30 new restaurants will be opening as well. So who knows?
I don't know. That's pretty bad. And even though, yes, and I want to hope because I love me some Denny's and I want to go back, man. You know you're built. Ooh, I'm stuttering. Just
Well, I think these places, I think they need to find a way to be attractive to non-inebriated folk.
or elderly,
Right. Because for
or
me, it
elderly.
was always, Waffle House and Denny's. It's like the only thing that's open after you've been at the bar room.
I cannot tell you how many times I've fallen asleep in a Denny's booth.
I don't want to
In
talk
a
about it.
Denny's booth.
Yep, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I was like 10,
Well,
like
see,
nine,
it's
10
funny
at 3 a.m.
growing up in Massachusetts, we didn't really have Denny's. Yeah, so like the first time I ever saw a Denny's, it was like the Great White Hope, like holy crap, there's a Denny's. I've heard of these places. You know what I mean? This is before the internet, so like we didn't have
You got to see it to
Denny's.
believe it, man.
We didn't have Denny's or Walmart or Wendy's or like we had nothing. Nothing.
Okay, Walmart. Okay, Walmart's much. It's very handy. Very, very handy, but it's much. So I could live without. But man, Wendy's.
So Wendy's
The
right now,
Wendy's.
we moved to a different part of Texas. I almost gave away our location. I can't do that because then they'll send the red phone people after me. I don't know what that means, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so we moved, and we used to live in a near a town or city called Longview, and Longview is just a normal Texas city with normal places, with all the restaurants that you know of, essentially. Same as Tyler and Shreveport and Waxahachie and Arlington. Like, they all have all the same restaurants. But then once you get out to rural Texas, now you're talking Dairy Queen and Sonic, and that's it. And
Mm-hmm.
if in Dollar General, of course, they just pop up in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
So, like for me now, they just opened a Wendy's in a town called Van. I know you know Van.
Yeah.
They just opened a Wendy's in Van, so that's our closest option for
Dang.
Wendy's. Yeah.
See, I used to be like that, living at Cedar Creek Lake. But man, I
Mhm.
moved
That's a
up
good
towards
example.
Dallas, and
Yep.
that's a great example.
Yep. Yep.
And man, where I live now, I can't imagine. Like, there's
No,
so many things
you're out in
people
the
are
big
missing
city
out on
now,
there, and
aren't you?
well, like you have no idea how many things y'all are missing out on. Go live some life, travel a little bit, cause man, if you ain't had Wendy's, what?
The Chick-fil-A's another one. Like for me, like if I
Popeyes,
want a
man.
burger, yeah,
Where's the Popeyes
exactly, exactly. See, she speaks my language. She knows what's up. So, what's the other
We're back on
restaurant that's
true.
closing down, Katie?
when me and you start talking food, we get really,
It's over.
really into it.
Yeah, it's over. So what's the other place shutting down?
This makes me sad as well. This is some high end right here. Red Lobster, my man. Then they are actually closing permanently. Great.
I love
Are you laughing at me?
I am laughing at you. You said
I'm depressed.
this is more high class, and then she said
then
Red Lobster, my man. Okay, look. Time out. Look. All right, Kadie. Look. If you have to put endless something on your menu, you're not high class.
It's high class for me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, look. They serve shrimp. That means they're a different class of restaurant, by God. All right, so
no class now.
that's great. Okay, look, let's get this together. Let's talk a little bit about. So, Red Lobster is actually closing down permanently.
Almost 100.
Yeah,
already.
We'll be closing nearly 100 locations. Yes. That's right. Oh my God. Oh gosh. So.
What we gonna do?
It was Endless Shrimp's fault. Like, who didn't see this coming? Seriously.
Yeah.
So the restaurant wasn't doing well, so they started their Endless Shrimp campaign. And then me and Kadie were there, yo. Like, we had bells on. That's how there we were, right? Like, you start talking about endless stuff. We could eat,
it's a
y'all.
bang for your buck.
That's right. When you add obesity and poverty together and you start talking about all you can eat stuff, yeah. You going out of business. You right. Who thought this was smart, bro? Like, what?
I ate like endless chicken nuggets, man. Like,
no. Who was in that meeting though, right? Like, okay, so we're not doing too well here.
Too many people for this to happen.
Right. So we're having a bad quarter. People aren't eating in our restaurant anymore. What should we do? Let's give them endless shrimp. That'll bring them back.
Take all of our dignity.
Well, that's what was happening. People were like, endless shrimp? Yo, grab the keys.
They're coming.
And then they weren't buying nothing else. They were just eating the shrimp. And so that's the idea, like from a promotional aspect, a marketing aspect. The idea is to give away something maybe a little less valuable to get people into your place, so that way they will buy other things that are more valuable. But when you're giving away shrimp, yo, you're giving away the value already.
For real, man. You're supposed to do like endless breadsticks. Okay?
Exactly. There you
That's
go.
what you're supposed to do.
Come in and buy our shrimp and we'll let you eat as much lettuce as possible. Endless salad. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still there because now I think I'm losing weight. But no. But, yeah, there
were so many more ideas.
Exactly. Like, the failure is strong with this one.
Fair.
Okay, so over 100 restaurants are closing. They're closing in lots of places: Alabama, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, Mississippi, New York, New Jersey, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin. Apparently, not only are they closing, but they have filed Chapter 11. That's a whole lot of shrimp they gave away, right? Like,
oh my God.
Now, there will be some stores that remain open and operational. I don't know if they're still going to be giving away shrimp. Probably not. And it doesn't really.
On to every last piece.
And
2
apparently,
pieces of shrimp per person.
Now, I can tell you the one in Longview, when it closed, or I guess it's in the process of or has already closed, they didn't even tell the employees, Kadie, that they were closing at this one in Longview. So apparently these people just went to work one day and the doors were locked.
Are you kidding?
That's what I've heard. And now
I wouldn't.
everybody knows that if you hear something on the internet, it's 114% true. So
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it though.
I wouldn't either, because that's the way of these corporations. They don't really give a crap about anybody at all.
Nope.
They really don't. Speaking of giving a crap about people.
People suck. Let's talk about
pets.
dogs.
Yes, right, dogs. Miranda Lambert has done something very, very cool I want to talk about. Now, Miranda Lambert and I have had our moments. We won't talk about that right now. But we are going to talk about how awesome that she has been recently after I get through all of these pop-ups, y'all. So several East Texas animal rescues have been named It Takes Balls grant recipient. I like it too. And these grants were distributed by Miranda Lambert's charity called Mutt Nation. Miranda Lambert says $130,000 has been given out in spay and neuter grants, and they will be given to shelters across East Texas, North Texas, and the Panhandle. She is giving back to East Texas animal shelters through her charity. Again, I called it Mutt Nation, which is cool. I'm going to put a link in the description down below for Mutt Nation so you guys can check it out, because this is freaking cool as hell right here. What do you think about it, Katie?
I think it's really cool. I'm reading reading about it too, and I actually used to take this big old Great Dane in the floor to the Cedar Creek Lake Friends of the Animals, which is a place that is getting donated to, which is really cool. And then in Athens, Longview, I think it's really awesome. And you know, people will think what they want about it regarding like spaying and neutering the animals, but I mean,
yeah. So for those of
too many.
For those of you that are from outside of the 903, Miranda Lambert is originally from the Lindale area, which is not too far from where I am now. And I know that Katie mentioned some of the places that will be receiving these grants. Some of them include Athens Animal Rescue Shelter, the Cedar Creek Lake Friends of Animals Incorporated, the Longview Animal Care and Adoption Center, which, by the way, are fantastic folks. I love those people over there. The City of Lufkin, the Friends of Jefferson Animals, the Humane Society of Harrison County, and the SPCA of East Texas. So first off, I got to commend Miranda Lambert not only for having the empathy and care of animals that are not able to take care of themselves, and the places that openly need the funding to take care of those animals, but also doing it in her area where she grew up and lived and all of that, and not just doing it in Franklin, Tennessee, where she might live now.
Well, and
I love that.
A lot of people probably don't realize either. You know, it's bad in a lot of areas, but especially around like Cedar Creek Lake, it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
How many dogs you find on the streets, and how many dogs it's awful. Like how many dogs are just running around that are dropped off or just lost, or it's pretty awful. So that's a great place to be.
And without grants and donations and things from individuals like Miranda, and I mean even individuals like us, these shelters do not exist. They're not able to function. So a lot of these pet associations go out of business for that very reason. And then the people that desperately need their help are all like, oh, what happened to so-and-so? Well, how much did you donate?
Yep.
And so that's what bothered me about this. And I did make the note in our docs that, believe it or not, Miranda Lambert is actually taking criticism from this. I'm not kidding. The woman, again, I've not always agreed with Miranda Lambert over the years. It's cool. It's whatever. But in this, she has done well, very well. So
Absolutely.
For anybody out there, whether you like the woman or not, to try to openly criticize somebody giving $130,000 to your local...
For little fur babies.
Yes. Now, some of the things I saw in the comment sections of different media outlets across the internet, I saw things like 130,000. That's not a lot. That's like you and me giving 50 cents. I saw, well, she gave it to those 9 places, but what about the other 60 places in East Texas? What about them, huh? Now, this is the criticism I'm seeing. Guys, sometimes we just need to put away our what about and just appreciate what
A
is.
good deed is a good deed.
Yes.
Period.
Yep.
And that's a freaking awesome good deed.
I'm
And for
sorry.
anyone to be acting like that, you pop out with that money.
I am 47
You
years
start
old, and I'm
donating.
here to tell you I will not see $130,000 in my entire lifetime. So for somebody to even, for me, just fathoming that much cash that was just giving away because somebody felt like being nice and helping not only her
That's
local,
awesome.
where she grew up, but also, helpless animals.
That's
Sometimes
awesome.
we just need to stop with the critical thinking. Not the critical
Awesome.
thinking, but just being ugly.
Negative.
Yeah, just being ugly for the sake of being ugly. It's dumb, and it's whatever. I said what I got to say about that. A friend of mine, I'm not sure if you know of who Giovannie Yanez is.
I have not met him. I know him, and I know a lot of people that are like in the circle and all that kind of crap. But
Uh-huh.
I have heard about this next topic.
Yes, and apparently I have linked the wrong thing there. So let me see if I can't
You
find what.
sure did.
Yeah, I want to talk about this because I have been online friends with Giovanni for a minute. It's been a while. I don't know how I met him through people, I would imagine.
Hmm.
But this kid has absolutely exploded over the last couple of years in popularity, rightfully so. He's a fantastic songwriter. And I'll tell you what, man, it's so hard to come out of the state of Texas in the rock genre and make it somewhere else,
Yes.
you know. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit, and yeah, we'll just go forward with it. Giovanni and the Hired Guns frontman Giovannie Yanez has checked himself into a rehabilitation center. This is as of May 15th, 2024. With the band announcing the cancellation of some of their upcoming tour dates, the group has issued a statement about the decision and how it impacts them moving forward. In their statement, the band notes, quote, "This morning our brother and leader Giovanni took a huge step and made the decision to check himself into a rehabilitation center. We support him 100%, and we want the best for our friend. And right now he needs time to focus on his health and well-being. We're going to give him whatever time he needs and stand by him throughout the entire process. We're not sure how long that will take, but whatever it is, we'll support him."
I saw them.
So let's see here. I know Giovanni had put out something as well. I don't know. That may have just been on his private Facebook though, so I don't want to share that if it's not published in the press. So I'm not going to share what Giovanni said in his on his own Facebook because again that could be private. I don't know. So I don't want to do that and
That
not.
post that was a really good statement from the other guys.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he's doing that. I know that, and Katie will attest to this. It is really, really hard to be a touring musician and not feed an addiction if you have one.
And it is so easy to pick one up.
Yep. And I'm not even just talking about drugs and alcohol here. There's all kinds of other addictions like food and sex and gambling and
And rock and
rock
roll.
and roll, the music itself. Like, there's just so many toxic things to get wrapped up into when you're on the road. It's so difficult. So, number one, I'm really happy that Giovanni has recognized that he has a problem and has tried to, send himself to a place where hopefully he will get the help he needs. Because he's a phenomenal guy, and I do wish the best for him for sure.
Absolutely. I you, I absolutely agree. Like for someone to recognize that it's a problem and then take the steps forward to fix that problem or help that problem, that in itself is just huge.
Yeah, and coming from somebody who's been around addiction for a really really long time, and I don't know the specific aspects to this situation. I'm not speaking of that. I'm speaking in general. It's really hard to battle an addiction, um, in because what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to like move myself to where I'm going, but um, a lot of times when you have an addiction and you don't know you need help, the people that love you will give you ultimatums. Do this or I won't be here, or I'm leaving, I'm gone, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. And so, a lot of times when somebody is dealing with an addiction and they do go get help, a lot of times or sometimes it can be because of an ultimatum or an interaction with a loved one that has put them on that path. And that's
And not
usually
prepared. Yeah.
right, and it's not coming from within. And a lot of times when that's the case, it's usually not successful. Really, you have to be the one that is
Absolutely.
that is that's starting the change, that's triggering the change, that wants to do something to better yourself. um,
I've seen it over and over again. People all around me, with addictions or issues and trying to overcome those, but just not, especially because the ultimatums and just doing it because, oh, well, this person said they're going to leave or this person, all that kind of stuff. And that's almost always
yep.
what happens.
Or I
And,
did this
unless
because of my label, or I did this because of radio, or I did this because of the tour, or I did this because of the.
yep.
Well, it's typically not going to work that way, right?
Mm.
Like, because a lot of times the reason why you're addicted to something is because of fear already. So, like, trying to institute fear to somebody who's addicted to somebody is not going to work. It just doesn't. They might try to placate you and all of that, but eventually, if they're not doing it for themselves, you're going to
Mhm.
see that loop effect where it's
Absolutely.
destruction and then try to get better and then destruction and then rehabilitation and then destruction. And I hope that Giovanni is doing this for him. I hope he
I
can get
agree.
through this. I hope he can heal. And I hope we see amazingness from him in the future, because um, he is that good for real. Um, the main event of this week's podcast. We are here quickly, but that doesn't mean that the episode is almost over, because this is not. I promise you.
This is going to be
So
a doozy.
this is episode 4, and this might be the first time where Katie and I may butt heads a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. Katie, I'm going to let you take it away.
So, um, this is a. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know why, but this person's name is controversial all the way around
Mm-hmm.
for anybody, usually. Um, and that is Taylor Swift. Or Swifties up in here. Up in here, up in here. Okay. Um, so everyone knows she released a double album, 31 songs. It's 2 hours and 2 minutes, I believe. Um, I went. uh, Me and you talked about it. It was last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I had certain opinions towards it. I had good things to say, but I also had bad things to say. But I have changed my opinion on a few things, but I'll stand on
Ooh.
others. So this is gonna be interesting. But
So what
for
was your
you,
first? Let's talk. What was your original opinion that we talked about last week?
so okay, in a whole for the whole album, just in a nutshell, my reaction was this is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It felt just hearing that she released 31 songs, all this kind of thing, and we haven't really heard from her in a while, and seeing like the song with Post Malone and like just a couple like of the big things like in the media, it was very like eh, this seems a little try hard, to be honest, to be
Okay.
completely honest. Like there's a lot of like I saw a lot of things that people were like is like Taylor Swift like washing up. Like, I mean, because first of all, she's getting old. Not old, but she's getting older to have this like very like high school kind of sound. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the music change is a big thing, but so it's just a lot of different things, and people are having a lot of different reactions to it. Like I said, my initial reaction was kind of like, eh. And I still feel on a couple of songs the lyrics are just like, it's just a lot. There's a few things that just fall flat for me. Um, whether it be the lyrics or like the lyrics with the melody. Um, and Taylor Swift, she has her sound. Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift all day long. You know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know her songs. And you'll know them even if you don't like her half the time. And so sorry, my dog distracted me.
So
Um,
there's a lot of things
a lot.
there's a lot to unpack here.
Mhm.
So my first impression of this double release. Now, first of all, let's talk about the fact that this was a
The positive thing, the positive first reaction. I think her vocals are really well done, and she does a few different things that I haven't heard from her. Continue.
yes, I agree with that. The first thing I was like, wow, okay, so I woke up to a double album release. Like she just woke up in the middle of the night and decided, you know what, I'm going to release a double album tonight. Oh, you know what? I've got an anthology here. Let's just throw it out there. So that was the first thing. I woke up to that, and there was absolutely nothing anywhere indicating that this was coming. Right? Like there was
Complete surprise.
no Easter eggs. There was no graphics anywhere saying coming soon. Like this was just out of nowhere.
Complete surprise.
In
Yep.
fact, I would say this was such a surprise that people were just blown away because let's be honest,
Yep.
the woman has been out on the road making billions of dollars. So when the hell did she have time to make a damn double anthology album? That's the first thing. So nobody thought an album was coming just because of how busy she was or is. That's the first thing. I was like, whoa, that's pretty dope. Just the way it was
Mhm.
put out there, I thought was pretty dope. Secondly, I didn't feel it was try hard. I felt like it was a almost like, okay, you know how you take your phone and sometimes you have to plug it into your laptop or your PC because
Mhm.
it's full, the storage is full, and you don't want to delete all your photos off of there because that's your memories, right? So
Right.
what you'll
No,
do,
I agree.
you'll plug in your phone to a PC or a hard drive or something, and you just dump all of that into a folder, all your pictures and
Absolutely.
videos, and I call it
Yeah.
a photo dump, right? I felt like that's what this was. Like this is
And
my
see, that's what I mean, but I take that in a different way. So I absolutely feel like that. Like these are songs accumulations, whether they're memories, whether they're new. It's just stuff you've kind of just been sitting on that you don't want to let go of, that you want to remember. Everyone's like that with their songs. I feel like personally as a songwriter, like even songs I barely remember, like notebooks I lost years ago or
right.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still remember them and I still think about them.
But
So
imagine, Katie, if you had the success built up, or the clientele, or the community, or the base, or whatever you want to call Swifties, right? Imagine if you had
right.
that kind of base built up, where you could literally, as the creator, you could
Hmm.
break every single rule that's ever been given when it
And
comes to
just not give shit.
creativity and just not give a flying shit about what you're doing. You know what? I'm going to release an album at 2 a.m. You know what? Fuck it. I've got 17 other songs that go with this album. So we'll call that a double album or an anthology or whatever. And she's breaking all the rules here, right?
Hmm.
I love that. That's called
I
trailblazing.
think I do think it is really cool. And my biggest thing with Taylor is, and this is what I feel like what a lot of people's problem is with her, especially like guys. She has her sound. It's kind of, Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have the best voice. She has a decent voice, but she's not like, ridiculously
I
vocally
agree.
amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
But she is a great songwriter. But with like the songs that have become popular, it's easy to be like the older country songs and everything. When Taylor Swift became Taylor Swift,
Mm-hmm.
and like the songs that are getting popular, like I feel like some of them do fall a bit flat. But It's what you do. You release the popular stuff, this stuff that's going to do good. But this right here, I did feel like it was a dump. And I felt, I know personally how great I would feel when you mention it like that if I was to be able to do this and
Mhm.
it not totally flop and maybe be able to make a crap ton of money off
Because
of
it
it.
hasn't flopped, by the way. It has not
It
flopped.
hasn't.
Yes.
And honestly, even if people hate it, they're all going to listen to it
And I'm going to
because
keep
they're
it
like,
real.
what the hell's going
Let
on?
me explain to those who might be listening or watching that do or has some kind of way or feels some kind of way in a negative fashion towards Taylor Swift. She's banking on you feeling that way, and she's banking
Absolutely.
on all of you being the loudest, because when you hate something or dislike something, typically when I am not moved by something that's content related, Kadie, and I'm sure you feel this way as well, if I see something in my timeline or my algorithm that I dislike, I swipe as fast as I can,
Mm-hmm.
because in this world of algorithms, if you hesitate for 4 seconds on something, your algorithm is going to think you like that thing.
Yep.
So let me tell you something. In case you didn't know, here's a little bit of a internet social media algorithm education from me to you, and then we'll get back into Taylor Swift. When you comment on something, you are telling the algorithm, "I like this." Remember that. So if you dislike,
Interaction.
yes, impressions, interactions, engagements. If KLTV or some other media format puts out a post on Facebook, they're going to put that out there because they're trying to get engagement. Without engagement, it doesn't mean anything. So they're going to try to rile you up. They're
Yep.
going to put forth a topic that's going to admit discussion. So if you dislike Taylor Swift and somebody on the internet asks you how you feel about Taylor Swift, if you don't like her, move on. Because if you comment on that, you are going to see nothing but Taylor Swift for the next
Yep.
45 days. That's a fact. So
Yep.
just keep that in mind. So my point is Taylor Swift is banking on those people, the people
Hmm.
that don't like her, because you're paying her bills.
See, and I used to be like, I don't like her, but I was I was young, didn't really care. I've always been that kind of person. Like, if you like that, I don't like it. I don't like being normal kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still don't have TikTok. Great example of that. Um, so I like hated her for a long time, but I
Um, I
I don't
have
know.
been I have been openly critical of Taylor Swift in the past. I have been openly critical of pop music, very, very much in the past. Um, I'd be the first one to say that I at one time would not have turned on a Taylor Swift song if you had paid me real hard
Yep.
earned dollars to do so. Okay. Now, fast forward to now, and I'm here to tell you that I like Taylor Swift is part of my go to sleep music. It's part of my ground music. This 47-year-old fat man does yoga, for example. Y'all may not know that. Taylor Swift is part of my yoga. Okay, that's the vibe that I need to balance myself. And what I love about the new album, and Kadie and I are going to go back and forth on this. One of the things I love about the new album is, yes, I feel like it's a dump, but because of the pandemic and how we are coming out of the pandemic now, and all of these touring artists during the pandemic had literally nothing to do. Literally nothing to do. They couldn't go touring, they couldn't go to the studio, they couldn't do anything, just like the rest of us. So, what were they to do during the
Hmm.
pandemic except sit down and write? And that is clearly what Taylor Swift has done. Now, the difference between Taylor Swift and maybe, some smaller artist that doesn't have the base is she knows no matter what she puts out, people are going to eat it up. So, what
Yeah.
she's doing now, in effect, is she is being more strategic with her music. And I feel that. I love that. I think that's cool. She is one of the most attacked people on the planet. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
So if you are attacked, and as you said, she's getting older, she doesn't necessarily want to have the high school music anymore.
Yeah.
So she's constantly barraged with attack after attack after attack. And now she's stuck in her room and she can't go out, and the pandemic is in full effect. So, what is a songwriter to do when they're just being
Right.
blatantly attacked all the time? And we're talking about a songwriter that puts her life into music. I mean, every breakup she's ever had, we know about it.
There's a song. Yeah.
Yeah, we know the story behind it. So that's what I see. This is a shift. This album is a shift. It is a dump. She spent a lot of the pandemic writing music and lyrics. That is a 100% defense of her being attacked. She's defending herself with a lot of these lyrics. You agree with that?
And absolutely. And I will say she does, even though she is getting older. I don't even know how old she is. Probably what?
34. She's 34.
I was about to say like 35 or so. Um, she has a voice and a sound that is timeless. Like, think about it.
Absolutely.
This is her
Absolutely.
sound that she's had forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I I couldn't have this as go to sleep music or I'd be crying myself to sleep because I'm
Can't
that
say
kind of
that that
person.
hasn't happened to me, but yeah, that's a thing for sure.
I like light rain better.
See, for
But
me, okay, so I'm going to try to articulate this the best way I can. I like dumbed down music.
mhm,
I am a lyrical uh, consumer, and if
mhm.
I can't understand the lyrics, I'm going to have a real problem connecting to you as an artist. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
When I hear a Taylor Swift song, I can hear the lyrics. I can understand what
Mhm.
she's saying to me. I can, and you're right. She's not vocally the most powerful vocalist ever made on the planet, but because of her superior skills with lyrics, she
And
doesn't.
not just lyrics. There people don't think about it. I'm teaching this a little bit to a couple of my students. Um there's so many things that she does. Like literally just stopping and taking a breath in between two words. That right there can create such a huge dynamic and such a huge feeling. Or just like
Or,
so many things are just like
mm-hmm,
giving something a
yeah,
little more
I
time
love that.
to
I know
breathe.
exactly what you're
Any
saying.
any tiny little thing, or like where you put the inflection on the word, whether you or like how you say the word, there's so many different things.
Or
Also,
like,
so many different voicings you can do, like whether you sing it in your head voice or your chest voice. Any little thing like that can change the entire vibe of either the word, the line, or the entire song. And she knows how to do that very well.
and
I will
classic
say.
poetry. You think about
Yeah.
how when we were kids, Katie, when we were learning poetry, sometimes a poet will take the word at the end of a sentence and put it at the beginning of another sentence. And a lot of times they will take the beginning word of another sentence and put it at the end of the sentence before. You know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. Like the
Yep.
word the might be the beginning of the second line, but it's actually articulated as the
Exactly.
last word, the first line. And there's just a cadence to that. And that, I
Hmm.
believe, is what you're talking about here, where
Yes, it is.
she
Hmm.
has absolutely mastered the art of lyrical cadence within music. And I don't know this for a fact, but it would not shock me in the least if we talked to her. I'd be willing to bet she gets her melodies from her lyrics. I bet you the lyrics come first. What do you think? For most of her stuff, not all.
I feel like they probably come at the same time.
You think so?
I feel like she's the kind of chick that just sits down and because this is too heartfelt and it's so I don't want to say it's simple because there's a lot of like depth in her lyrics, but a lot of it the high school thing that like vibe is all because it's like a conversation like I'm sitting here talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is right off the cranium like pretty quick. So I think she probably starts off just all the above personally.
It's so
I
ridiculous how far she has come.
mhm.
God, it's because, like, I would not have given her a second thought 10 years ago. No, not even a chance. And I am here to tell you, I'm a straight white guy, dude. And when I heard there were 31 new Taylor Swift songs, bro, like, what?
Oh my god.
I was losing my shit over here. And I still haven't heard the whole album. I'll keep it real. Like, I haven't heard all of it, but I have.
Oh,
I
okay.
definitely have my favorites.
I did better than you. Anyway.
You did.
I didn't listen to all of them entirely, but I skimmed through only probably 5 or 6 of them, and the rest I listened to.
Well, I feel like
I went and looked at all the lyrics.
very good, very good.
I know.
Very
I'm
good.
prepared.
So there's a lot of lyrics in this on this double record.
In this 2-hour set.
Yeah, I feel like she has snuck some lyrics into these songs that are meant to trigger certain folks, and it's almost like indirect jabs. Like, let me talk about this love story, but at the same time, you know what? I'm gonna throw a little fuck you in here every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like you.
That is another thing.
Yeah.
She's a little punchy. Like,
And
I've never heard.
I love it.
Her last. I don't know if it was her last album, but the one. Maybe she did release it during COVID. I remember I posted a video of me dancing with my dog listening to it when it came out. Betty was on it. But anyway, Betty, it goes like, it says, would you tell me to go F myself, you know, and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, interesting. That was the first time I heard her like say a cuss word. And here it's like, she don't give.
No, they're in there. They're definitely in there. This definitely feels like the I don't give a shit anymore album.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know that she's a proud Christian. I know that. And I know that a lot of Christians are losing their shit over this album. And I understand it. It's not for everybody. I get it. But again, what gets me is the criticism of, well, I wouldn't let my kids listen to that. Well, of course not.
Music anymore, sweetheart.
She's 34 years old, guys. She's not. Her base is not children anymore. It hasn't been for a long time, and this feels like her open advertisement of that. Guys, listen. This is not for your children. I am not for your children. She is not writing.
You know, it has the little like E thing for explicit underneath the song. Don't let them listen to it.
Almost all of them have the E, and that's okay. And I understand that you don't want your kids to listen to it. I understand that. Don't let them listen to it. The music.
Also, your kids listen to worse, guaranteed.
Absolutely. In fact, when we were children, guys, we were listening to worse than that. I promise. At least I was. You ever heard of NWA? Come on now. I grew up on NWA. I'm not talking about the wrestling either.
I was in 4th and 5th grade listening to Eminem a little bit.
There you go. That's my point. Like, if you tell your kids not to do it, that gives them open permission to want to do it and get after it. But
what are you talking about? I never thought about that before.
But the criticism is out there that she is apparently, you know, making music for children and that this isn't it. And this is not a record for kids, and she has never said that. In fact, she hasn't been a kid artist in 15 years, really.
Correct.
Think about it.
Just because cuss words are if you go and listen to the content, just because it sounds and you don't hear a cuss word, don't mean it's all go listen to some content.
Well, you know what? At least, I mean, Taylor hasn't gone full Billie Eilish yet, right? So we'll talk about Billie Eilish on a future episode, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, you want to talk about somebody who doesn't give a shit about anything. I mean, whatever.
And I have a very different opinion.
Oh, I'm sure, and it's fine. We'll get to that later. One thing I would be remiss not to talk about, especially where, you know, we were just talking about children being subjected to Taylor Swift lyrics, especially the new lyrics from this new album.
F the kids, man. Sorry.
Why to me? Why is it? And maybe Katie has an answer for this as a young female. Why is it that it's almost always men that have the most outspoken criticism of Taylor Swift? Why is that?
I did say that earlier, especially like the guys. I said something to that effect, but I don't know, man. It just it hurts their masculinity, I guess. I don't know. And I mean, she's okay. It does kind of, we got the whole high school kind of sound thing, and it is a timeless sound, but it's been the same sound for 10 years, just about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, same kind of general idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's been, here and there some cool stuff, but you know what I mean.
It's pop music.
So,
It's pop music.
and I feel like all these guys, like you said, 10 years. Like 10 years ago, I was 10. Like, I've grown up with this crap. These people are and she's so big you can't escape. But it is really just like oh, that's girly music.
No,
Guaranteed.
there's a lot of things about Taylor that I respect a lot, like a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she with the Eras tour, which by the way, if you haven't watched the Eras tour, I think it is on Max. I'm not sure. I think it's on Max though, either Max or Disney. Um, if you haven't seen the Eras tour, oh my gosh, please do it. It's so good. Like I haven't seen it live. I will never be able to see it live. I'm extremely thankful that it's streamed somewhere. But man, what a absolute incredible experience. She also has a show called, I think it's like the Long Pond Sessions or something like that. My wife's gonna hit me again because I've already forgotten the name of it. But that is on Peacock, I think, or Amazon. It's on one of them. But I love the fact that everywhere she goes, she donates to a food pantry in every
Mm-hmm.
single city that her tour comes to. And when I say she donates to a food pantry, I'm not talking, um, you know, $5 here. um,
Yeah,
like
a
she
lot.
legitimately goes out of her way um, to take care of other folks. I'll just read a little bit about this. This is from August of 2023. The Arizona Food Bank Native Network received a call that Taylor Swift wanted to make a hefty donation to the charity as she kicked off her Eras tour in that state. And some staffers thought it was a prank, but it was not a joke. The megastar, who is raking in big bucks from her blockbuster concerts, has been giving back to communities wherever she plays, from Georgia to Michigan to Texas to California and in between. Food banks have benefited. We talked about this a little bit on a prior episode, I believe. In Arizona, Swift's donation allowed the network to send several tractor trailers filled with 40,000 pounds of fresh produce to its member food banks.
That's awesome.
That's one example of literal dozens of donations she's made to food banks across the world, not just in the United States. They're saying something like 750,000 meals have been donated
I mean,
through her. So,
if she's donating that many pounds that often, I mean, probably.
yeah, and so she is single-handedly feeding people out there. Now, that's not even to talk about the bonuses that she gives to her own workers, um, which is in the millions at this point. I know that recently she gave $100,000 to every single one of her truck drivers.
That's awesome.
That's as a bonus in addition to their salary. The superstar has paid over 50 million of her own money in just bonuses for her hundreds of support staff during her Eras tour.
Man, I'll go to work for her.
Me too, please. By God, I will learn to dance for you, Taylor Swift.
I would do a lot of things for that kind of money.
You can write, you can background vocals, play guitar. I will fake dancing.
I will literally scrub her feet if you're gonna pay me that much money.
Wow,
Okay.
there's our TikTok for the week right there. Katie Lynn's gonna
I
scrub
did.
Taylor
Hey,
Swift's
and I
feet.
mean, she's so bougie and girly. You know them hoes ain't like nasty.
No, probably not.
You know they're not. So
So
I'll
we
do it.
we did talk about how the latest album is probably not safe for all viewers, but I'm here to tell you as a father to three daughters, I am so appreciative of Taylor Swift for the just being such a role model for girls out there, to know that our young women and young ladies on this planet, for them to know that they can be empowered. They can do it. They can be just as good as the guys. They can be just as good as anybody else. I love that she's putting that message out. Just being larger than life for our girls. And I think that's what makes a lot of people mad. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people are mad at Taylor Swift because they know that she's a good role model. And that
Yeah.
hurts people, I guess. I don't know if it's envy or jealousy or what, but I don't know. What say you out there?
I,
Comment.
I think that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it like that, but I agree. Like it's I think it's either like a that thing. It's like I feel like the reason so many people are like is because they're just sick of it. Because everyone knows Taylor Swift, everyone hears Taylor Swift, all that kind of thing, and it's been over so many years,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I didn't think about it like that either, because it is to
Mm-hmm.
everybody, for every audience. So that makes it a lot more like prevalent,
Yep.
you know.
Not just prevalent, but also relevant. And see, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, people, I see so many people in the music industry that are anti Taylor Swift. And I don't get that. Now, I understand if you don't like the art. I understand that. I get it. That's not for everybody. Katie Lynn is not for everybody. Beyonce's not for
Great.
everybody. Merle Haggard is not for everybody. I don't know how, but he's not. And that's just the way it is. But if somebody is not for you, you should still have the ability to
To appreciate.
separate the art from the business, and you can still respect the game.
Hmm.
And I'm here to tell you guys, nobody is playing the game better than Taylor Swift. Nobody.
Well, and take all of that aside and all the people that are like, well, I hate her music. I dare you to sit down and take about 30 minutes to go through this album or the album I was talking about that I don't remember that Betty's on.
Mm-hmm.
And is it Folklore?
I'm not sure.
The,
I think
like
I
white?
think it is though. I think it is.
It's white, like a white album cover. Anyway, what you if you know Taylor Swift, you know what I'm talking about. Go sit down and take about 30 minutes and go listen to that. Listen to the lyrics. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, that's up your alley. I'm a person, and you said like if you don't connect with lyrics, you're not into it. See, I listen to heavy metal. I don't need to hear the lyrics either.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big like rhythm gal, so I really like I said last time, Chuggy Chugs, and you laughed at me, but but
That
you know what I mean.
that's
I
coming
really
out
like,
soon. Couple days.
but I don't. I'm not that kind of person. I don't need to hear lyrics.
Well,
I like hearing like the rhythm patterns, like in vocals, whether
mm-hmm.
that's screaming, singing. I like melodies. I like all the way around. You know, I feel like anyone that likes music at all can sit down and learn to appreciate all of these kinds of musics that I'm talking about. Whether now it's harder to listen to like instruments versus like vocals, but I mean even the heavy metal, you can sit down and listen to like the guitars and appreciate that, or like the drums and all that kind of stuff. And the same thing goes for Taylor Swift. Her expertise maybe isn't, you know, playing guitar or singing, but her expertise is the songwriting. So I dare you to go either. I mean, don't even go listen, just go read
The
lyrics to some
expertise
songs.
to it is all of it, to be fair. Like,
Well,
honestly,
yeah,
the
but you know what I
expertise
mean.
is all of it. But yeah, you're right. Like, for me, as a lyrical consumer, I will be the first one to tell you that Taylor Swift is lazy as a motherfucker sometimes when it comes to lyrics. She's extremely lazy. And man, I'll tell you, I'll be listening as a fan. Yeah, I would be I'll throw it out there. I am a Swiftie. I am. I am a Swiftie. But as a Swiftie, I will be the first to admit there are some real lazy moments in Taylor Swift's art. And it's always been there. This is not a new thing. But we talked about this last week with AI. You mentioned inflection, you mentioned mistakes, you mentioned imperfection.
Yep.
Is
And
laziness
there's
not
just
part of that? Is that not part of that?
correct. I think, I think that was my biggest thing for a while. Is like you're such a big artist, and you're not sitting. Well, I know, especially like I mean, some, not all, but I know a lot of artists that are trying to make right now that will sit on the same song for like 5 months, steady going at it, freaking out about how it's gonna sound and all that kind of stuff. He wants to be on camera so bad. He just loves his mama. But we freak out about these things, and I think it kind of like pisses some of us off that she just doesn't have to care, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you don't appreciate, the lyrics, and like you said, some of it is lazy, like she's banking, dude.
Yep.
I think that's a big thing,
And
especially like
I think that's
within
a
the.
big part of this album too, right? Like this double album. There's so many moments in this album where she is openly voicing what her fans think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These defenses of the attacks on her and her character, she is openly defending not only herself from these attacks, but lyrically she's defending her peeps.
Yep.
And I love that. I think that's pretty cool. And that, honestly, that's what people hate.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want you to talk about this shit. Go back to talking about being broken up and bad love and loving guitars and like all this stupid shit. Like, stop talking about things that matter to you, Taylor Swift.
Now I will say, was it that song? I don't know if you listened to it. It's "Who's Afraid of Little Old Me." I don't like that one. I
Why's
don't.
that? Why's that?
I don't think it's her vibe. I don't think that's her. That doesn't feel. It just doesn't feel like it resonates with her voice. I feel like there should have been something extra to make the lyrics blend better. I just feel like it's a little lackey for what
So,
it's trying to accomplish.
so just one lyric off the top of my head from that song, "Who's Afraid of Little Old Me." I was tame, I was gentle till the circus life made me mean. Don't you
Yeah.
worry, folks. We took out all her teeth. You caged me, and then you called me crazy. I am what
Yeah.
I am because you trained me.
She has great lyrics. It's just I guess it's the lyrics don't fall flat. It's the music is weird as well. The production is a little bit questionable. It's very like the first word that pops in my mind is not a good word, but like avant-garde kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like very bizarre in a way, and it's a new sound and people aren't used to it. I'm definitely not used to it. It's kind of jarring, especially since she's had that sound that she's had for so long. Like the weird if you've listened to it, you know what I'm talking about. There's one song that I really, really liked, and it was like all over it. Like these just like weird little. It almost sounds like whammies, but it's like computer, obviously. But you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about?
Yep.
Like the weird little like noises in the background. It's very different, and it's a different sound for Taylor Swift. And I feel like in that song, it just seems a little bit lackey. Like whether it's an emotion, like the "fu" emotion, and that's not Taylor Swift. It's not. It's not like she's gonna sit here and scream at you and all that. But I feel like the lyrics didn't get justice
But see,
because of
that's
that.
the thing. Like, she's using lyrics where it feels like she's screaming at you, and she isn't. She doesn't have to, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's just lyrically, in my opinion, she's just lyrically that good And this album,
I agree. I just feel like, and personally, me, like, I sit and listen to lyrics, and I'm just saying, like, as the average listener, like, somebody's not going to be like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's where it might fall flat. And for me, it just feels like it's like it could be more.
mm-hmm.
Really, is what it is.
Well, I agree. I think as people who always need to have more. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless of what our favorite people put out, we're still going to want more of it. You know, when the season finale of a show is over, what's going to happen next? Oh my God, we have to wait 2 years for Yellowstone.
For
what do
real,
you mean?
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah,
BS.
that's the new way of the mentality of the world. We have to have everything now. We have to. When's the next this? When's the next? What have you done for me lately? Right. All of that is a thing now. Now with this record, I feel like for the first time, oh boy, this is going to be a big statement. I feel like for the first time, she's really making an effort to try to get more people to listen
I think so too.
to what she's saying.
Especially with the music and production.
Right.
And
but also the lyricism, though.
Agreed. But also bringing in, like, she does some collabs, like Florence and the Machine. That's a good, mesh. But that's still a new audience. And Post Malone, that's I mean, there's similarities, but like Post Malone, when he like really started getting big, it was like he was a rap dude. So like that's a completely different kind of thing from her. And those people are still lingering on, even though Post Malone's a bit different now. So to introduce those people to her in that kind of way, that's smart, and she is doing a lot of different things, and that's how I got introduced, was with Post Malone, because I love Post Malone.
So it was vice versa for me. I have not been. I've known of Posty for a while. I've known of him. I've never really jumped into that well, but
I love him.
This collab with Taylor though on Fortnite has got me listening and seeking out more of Post Malone.
And also, I feel like he shined more in that than her, just because his powerful voice. I think that's what makes it feel like it lacks so much. I think for me personally, is because I like statements, and she does make a statement. It's just I don't know. I like theatrics. I like dynamics, and I like the music.
See, I was impressed that he was the one that was meant to shine in that song.
Yeah.
He's the featured artist on the song, and I don't want to go out there and say, oh, Taylor Swift just let him shine. I don't want to say it like that. But God, it feels like that though, right? Like it feels like she's just letting him not giving him permission, but like just
it's a funny dynamic.
Stepping back. I feel like she was stepping back in that song.
Hate on Taylor Swift all you want. She's like ultimate pop god at this point, right? Like she's the
top of the mountain.
Right?
She is the final boss. Yes.
And even though Post Malone is fucking huge and everyone loves him, just the same as Billie Eilish, like this is like your inspiration. Like this is like your god, basically, in what you do. This is like the CEO of the company.
And there he is.
Yeah.
And outshining the pop goddess. They co-wrote that song together. I think Fortnite is going to go down as one of the top songs of all time.
You think so?
I do. Just the way
I haven't checked on it to see like how it's blowing up.
I don't know either. I have no idea. I can just go by what I feel when I listen to the song.
Let me go look.
Yeah, I don't know anything about stats or whatever that it's doing. I know that every one of the songs on one of the charts out there was Taylor's at one point. I want to say like iTunes or something like that was just all her. Which, by the way, I don't think that should be allowed. I think the charts have become consolidated too much on sales rather than listens,
Absolutely.
and it should be maybe a conglomeration of both of those or even more um, statistics
One
added
for
in.
each.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that an album can come out and then every song on the album is the top 10 on the charts. Like
So
I guess I'm
this came
traditional
out.
when it comes to singles and stuff like that.
The music video came out a month ago, and it has 65 million views
Hmm.
on YouTube.
So she's no Billie Eilish.
That's a thing, and I think it's
I'm just playing.
I think it's bizarre, and I think it's gotten a lot of attention because like
Oh.
Taylor Swift, like the Taylor Swift and the posty tattoos and all that kind of stuff. Like that's people are like, what? So like they're going to click on it.
I thought
But
that was cool, man. Like I
I
thought
think
that
so
was
too.
cool.
But I saw that and I was like, what?
It was
Because
so
I
neat.
didn't even know Post Malone was in it. I was like, why
Right.
is she looking like Post Malone?
Well, it's funny. You talk about 65 million for Fortnite. So Lunch by Billie Eilish came out 4 days ago. It's already got 20 million.
Oh my god, that's so funny. My dogs are stupid and they bark at any noise, so I have music playing in there. And it's What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. It's my chill playlist.
Oh, hey, I have a playlist
Funny, you
called
know?
"The Best Playlist That Ever Playlisted," and
That sounds like a Jack Black playlist.
probably, yeah, I have all my girls on there. Billie Eilish and Taylor and Olivia Rodrigo and
See, and that's somebody I haven't gotten into either.
Oh, we're gonna.
But I only know like Driver's License. That's it.
Yeah,
And I do like that song.
she's very high school. She's got that high school sound that you're talking about, but like,
But she's actually like,
she's actually like high school age.
yeah.
But she just gives me angst. I love the angst in her songs. It makes me feel something. Like it makes me. It takes out. It like brings out my inner road rage almost. Right. Like I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to get off on a tangent on somebody else because there's a lot of future episodes.
We started doing it a while ago, and I know we're getting, to where we're running out of a little bit of time. But
There's never running out of time. Yeah, we're good.
Well, I have a lot of things I want to touch on. I screenshotted a bunch of lyrics.
Please do. Okay? Yes, this is your show.
I have all kinds of stuff on here.
She made notes. Hold on. Where is it? Where are my frickin' sound effects? Give me my sound effects. She won't be able to hear this, but here we go. She made notes. Yay! Okay, go ahead.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I know. I played applause. I have buttons.
Y'all don't know this, but normally I just get sticky notes and just stick them places. Well, now I have an iPad, so I got all kinds of stuff. I'm like all high tech. I don't gotta write anything down. I can just, go on the internet and look. So okay, I saved a few songs. So like I said, I appreciate just about anything. So I went through and I appreciated most of it. There was only a few things like that one song I talked about, that I really was just like, eh. But the rest, there was nothing wrong with the rest. There was some that I just skipped over because they didn't really just stick out to me. But the first one I chose to listen to, which I think is weird, I scroll through. I like, I want certain things intrigue me. Okay, and I saw Peter, and I was like, okay, what is this? So, man, that's my favorite. Is Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to it, but and I feel like, okay, I think when I say Taylor falls flat, she has amazing lyrics, but with her being such a poet, she uses weirder words or like bigger words and stuff, and it's harder to make them
fit.
Like you lose a little bit of the melodicness sometimes with her, and which is why I feel like it may fall flat. Just because she's so focused on the lyrics, you know what I mean? And it's a payoff, but it takes away, from the melody and from the flowiness of the song. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's what I say, I guess, when I mean it like it fell flat. That's a big part of what I mean by that, I think. But this song all the way around, like I feel like everything just flowed so good. It's, man, the chorus is just the same two lines over and over again, but you don't need any more because there's like 5 verses. No, I'm kidding. There's 3, but they tell the whole
So
story.
is this the one where it's you said you were gonna grow up, then you're gonna come find
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like Peter Pan vibes, right?
yeah, yeah. I love it though. I love it. I love it so much. I think it's well written. I think it's really it flows a lot better than the rest. I think like it's just like the whole time you don't like you can just get lost in it. There's not any moment where you open your eyes and you're like, what was that? Or like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't know why this just popped to my head, and this is why I love doing this podcast with you because, like, so much of what we're doing right now, yeah, we come prepared. We have our notes. She has her iPad. I have Google Docs. We come prepared, but a lot of what we say is just off the cuff, and that's what
Yeah.
makes this so interesting and so therapeutic for me. I'm sure it's the same way for you. Um, but just come to me. The name of the record is The Tortured Poets Department.
Mhm.
It's so obvious to me all of a sudden. The reason why this record is different is because it is different. This is poetry. This is what she's
Yeah.
done, Katie. She has taken her poetry that she's amassed over who knows how long, and
And you
she's
know,
thrown a melody together with her poetry. That's what it feels like, does it not?
it does. I feel, and that really may be the case. I've always felt like, we talked about how she writes her songs. I feel like in this case, a lot of it could be just like ideas she's wrote down, like the ones that do fall flat. But I think like, not, you know what I mean though,
Yeah,
not fall flat.
absolutely, of course.
But I do still think she sits down, and it is poetry. But I think she goes with the feeling. I don't think she sits down and thinks too much about it. But then when she does think about it, that you know what I mean.
Well, I'm pretty
But
sure she has been quoted as saying exactly stuff like you're talking about right now in the Long Pond sessions or whatever the frick it was called. I should probably look that up so I don't keep saying that. Hold on, let me look that up so I'm accurate
okay,
here.
stop. Wait. Complete distraction. I went like this. Okay, just look at me real quick. You see my braids? Okay, this is the first time I've ever put my hair in braids with this haircut, and I went like this. I look like freaking Willie Nelson.
It's called the Long Pond sessions. I remembered. Let's go, guys. When I remember stuff,
Please.
I have cognitive issues, so when I do remember something, it's pretty good. So it's a 2020 documentary, the Long Pond Studio Sessions, and if you want more insight into Taylor Swift, you should definitely check it out. Basically, what it is, it's just it's kind of like a dumbed down acoustic version of Folklore, and they're showing themselves recording this album, the dumbed down version, the acoustic version, or whatever you want to call it. They're showing themselves making the record. I guess it's like folklore acoustic. I don't. That's not what they're calling it, but it's essentially what it is. It's kind of like a hybrid between a documentary and a concert film. And
Right.
and I love, as a podcaster and an interviewer, I am that guy that has to know the story behind shit. And she tells the story behind stuff in that little thing she put together. I don't know where it's
Yeah.
streaming, but that's what it's called. The Long Pond. Disney Plus is where it's streaming. There you go.
Oh, well, great.
Yep.
Can't watch it.
Well, that
Wow.
sucks.
Oh, and then another one I liked, and this was okay. I usually don't like songs like this, so this is saying something. Down Bad, I really liked that one, and I liked the lyrics. I liked the rhythm of it. I liked the melody. I liked the production, the music. I liked all of that. I didn't like it at first because I listened to it last week when we were kind of talking about it. That was one of the first ones I listened to, and I didn't really care for it that much. But I sat and had another listen, and I do like it, and I did save it.
She
May or may not
changed
be.
her mind, is what she's saying.
Well, sometimes you gotta try things twice.
It's true.
um,
It is really true.
and then what's this one? I like this one. I'm reading the lyrics, but I didn't write down names. That's Down Bad, and then that one.
I think my favorite song on the record is the title track, to be honest with you. And we talked about this a little
And
bit
that's
last
my
week.
least. That's my
Yeah,
least
and
favorite.
that's what she talked about. She said, "Yeah, that's like my least favorite song on the record," and I like it because like it's that song where you're telling your ex, or not your ex, but like your significant other. You're literally telling them, you know, I'm your person and you're my person, and
Mhm.
clearly there's some kind of divide between the two people that's causing the lyrics to this song to happen. And I absolutely love her confidence from her position of, look, I get you, and nobody else is going to get you like I get you. And so,
I do like it. It's just like I said with the certain little things I'm talking about. It wasn't my taste. I
but
guess.
how many times as a songwriter, or not necessarily as well, you're a songwriter, I'm not, but how many times do you listen to a song that's about lost love or you know, a conversation within a relationship where the person that is portraying or purveying really the lyrics is doing so from a place of weakness? How many times? Like that's always. I mean, that's a love song. You're always in the weakest position. You're the most vulnerable. You're not the one. You never hear the songs. Oh, I broke up with him, and this is why. Right? You
Yeah.
never hear the song from a position of strength. So it's
Yeah.
nice to hear a relationship based song that's being put out there from somebody who knows they have this confidence within the relationship and they're trying to put that out there lyrically. I
I will
love
agree
that.
on that.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's cool.
I do like aspects of it, and I have I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to grammar. I have a like for everything to do with this. The name of the album, the music videos going along with it, the collabs. I have respect for all of it. And I understand all of it. It's just just like that one song. I don't feel like it's a good title soundtrack personally.
Can
But
we just for a moment can we try to fathom the amount of frickin' work that was put
mhm,
in by her team to get this
a
release.
lot.
Because let me tell you guys something. We talked earlier on this subject about how Taylor literally takes the rules, the normal rules of business, and just throws them out the window. And normally, when you put out a record, you put it out a single at a time. You put out a music video to support the single, and you go on tour to support the album. That's normally how this works. But here we have, and then you have lyric videos as well. And typically, what happens with a lyric video is it's not necessarily an official release, right?
Right.
But lyric videos are important too. They're not an official video. They're not going to be fully, um, you know, not a full actual
Yeah.
shot video like a movie video. It's just a lyric video, but they're just as important in my opinion as the regular
Yeah.
videos. And
Absolutely.
literally, her entire record, like they literally put out official videos for like 3 of them, and then
Hmm.
the rest of them, every single one of them, is an official lyric video. There's literally not a distribution pack here. This is all actual legit stuff. This is all
Yeah. It
production
wasn't just
value.
thrown together at the last
Right.
minute.
Like that's what I mean. This is months and months of work and nobody knew it was coming.
Yep. So, okay, I don't know if we're getting close to an end, but
We're not.
before, okay, so I want to name off my favorites, and I want to hear your favorites.
Sure. Yeah,
You,
absolutely.
I know you said you haven't listened to all of them, but and I want you. Okay, so I have screenshots of all the lyrics. So I say I'll start because I'm prepared.
Shots fired.
For the first time, I can
Damn,
actually
son.
pass. So, um, okay.
Oh
So
my
I said
gosh.
Peter. I love that one a lot. The next one I had screenshotted was Down Bad, and that one I mean I really liked just the whole vibe of it.
It's so
Like
good. Oh, it's so good.
I really do. It's just like, man, that's one that you listen to like jamming to.
Oh, it's so
Like,
good. Just the vibe of the chorus, right? Like
and how simple the melody is too, and it goes really good.
Fuck it if I can't have him. Fuck it if I can't. I just, it's like,
Yeah.
man, you know what? If you're gonna use the cuss word, at least use the cuss word, right? Like, that's what I meant by lazy lyrics earlier. Like, I feel like a lot of artists will throw a cuss word in there just because they're trying
Being
to
lazy,
give
yeah.
more emphasis on something. I love how she tries to downplay the use of the cuss word.
Mhm.
You know, like she's using it as a feeling. Like, how many times have we just, as human beings, just thrown something on the floor and said, fuck it?
A lot of times, personally.
It happens to me at least once a day. I'm going to keep it real. So when you hear that lyrically, you connect to it. You lash onto it because it's
That's
something you
she's
can.
always been good at, is making it
Yep.
down to earth and personable, and like me and you. You know, like our lives.
Yeah, Down Bad, man. Oh, you hit on it.
Then,
You hit on it. That's a great song. Great song. Just and she's
and
just like, you know what? If it ends, nobody's gonna care. Like nobody cares.
yeah,
You know.
and I really like the teenage petulance line. I really like that too.
And again, the opposite of lazy lyrics, the teenage petulance.
Right.
It's
That's what I think is funny. Like a lot of these songs, like you can tell, it's like all of them. There's like the little lazy spots. Not all of them, but a majority of them. There's like the little lazy spots, but there's gold in a lot of it.
It's the opposite of AI. It's that imperfection. Yeah, that's the second the chorus. Just everything comes out teenage petulance, man. And it's like when you first hear the line, you're just like, oh my god, I feel that in my heart. Like even as an almost 50-year-old male, I feel teenage petulance all the time. And to hear it put that way, and then right after that, it's just herself dialogue to herself, you know what I mean? How she feels about it. Fuck it, if I can't have him, I might just die. It would make no difference. Like we have all felt those depressing moments where we don't think we're understanded. Yeah, that's right. It's
Understood.
understood. Yeah, understood. Yeah, that's a great tune. And lyrically, one of the best on the album. One of the songs that I really struggled to connect with at first was So Long London.
Yeah, okay. I heard it for the first time today and I skipped right past it, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's really repetitive, I feel. Like I like the lyrics of it, but like I don't particularly care for like hearing the same line over and over again. You know?
And see, like with Peter, that one, like I said, the chorus is like the same two lines over and over again.
Right.
But the verses are so complex. You want something simple.
Yeah, in that song, I feel like she's just hitting it home, right? Like she's trying to really put those lyrics in there because they're more important to the story. But like sometimes when you repeat a line, it just feels lazy to me. Like you're trying to find a different melody, or you're trying to progress through two different things that don't necessarily have to be there. And so then lyrically, it just kind of it fits like a banana in an orange hole. You know what I mean? That's like trying to fit a banana in there when it's not gonna work. At least lyrically for me. You're laughing because you know it's right? Like. Tell me I'm on here.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm laughing.
How about the...
Anyway, moving on.
I can fix him, I really can. How many times have we said that in our relationships?
See, and I like those lyrics, but I don't like the melody with the lyrics. That's how I feel on that one. I just don't feel like it flows good.
This song here, and I know why a lot of people don't like this song. There's a lot of people talking bad about this one, and I feel like it's because she's real close to being, not very Christian in this song.
Which one?
The I can fix them, no, really, I can.
Oh yeah.
There's a line in there where she says, "But your good Lord doesn't need to lift a finger." And there's a lot of people that don't like that line because she's a
Shut the
Christian.
hell up.
And I'm just like, no, come on, man. Like, how many Christians out there are truly living the perfect Christian life? Nobody. No one.
Well, and look, everyone's human. That's the most human line ever. If you're gonna look at it through a religious way, and that's a feeling. That's not a statement. That's not a fact. It's a feeling.
Right. And you go
So
through
chill
her
the hell
second
out.
verse on this song, and it's so visual. And that's one thing that I love about Taylor Swift. And she's always had the knack, always. This has never not been a thing with her. From the moment she picked up a guitar, she's always been a very visual songwriter. There's not too many songwriters out there that can take you on a trip. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, and this is why I implore everybody to go check out the Eras tour, her albums are set up in such a way where the voyage goes from one song to a next, and it kind of makes sense in that way. And this record is definitely that way as well, with the poetry theme of it. But
Yeah.
like I just love, like, it's almost like she has a certain word list and she just has to fit the word into her song somewhere. That's the vibe I get sometimes. Like when you hear words
Yeah.
like dopamine and calloused and
That's what I'm saying. And that's
mhm.
the things I don't like is that it feels weird. It falls flat. Like if you ugh, those are the few things that just kill me with her. It's just like, man, and especially like me, man, I love lyrics. And like I
Me
said, I
too.
appreciate music. I
Yeah.
appreciate music equally.
Hmm.
I consider them equal, personally. Like whether you're shredding on a guitar, like if you're that good, you're that good. Wherever your talent's at, if you're that talented, you're that talented. And I can appreciate all
And
of
you
that.
should
But
unabashedly throw that out there as much as you can, and don't let people talk you out of it ever. Right?
yes.
Like you can't do it. Um, but
But
yeah,
her, like, I feel like my biggest problem with her is I'm not, I'll say it. Not a lot of people are as humble as me, but I'm not a great lyricist. I'm not. It's just not. I'm a big music gal. I like my voice. I like singing. I like playing guitar. I like rhythm. I like pretty melodies. I'm not the best lyricist on the planet. That's why this feels very lackey to me. Is because the things that I focus on and that I make priority in my songs are lacking in hers sometimes. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
melody part of it. Like
yep.
that's very important. And that's everyone's certain style. But
So
I guess that
how does she make that work then?
I mean for the people like you that love the lyrics.
Hmm.
And then the people that don't care, and there's a lot of people that don't care. And I'm a certain individual that likes a lot more than most people and I can see a lot of things with a open mind and an open eye. But I think I mean, a lot of girls grew up with her. Like I know my niece, she's a couple years older than me,
Hmm.
and she will forever be a Swiftie. She has been since 10 years ago or whenever. Oh my God. The poor Beatles. I almost said while my guitar gently weeps.
Oh no, teardrops on my guitar. Come on, that's it.
I sing that song.
That's
I
it.
guess it's in my head or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But you know what I mean? Since that song came out, she's been nuts about it. So you have these forever fans, and then you still have the same sound, and I feel like you're always. I mean, I don't know if that comes down to like a right brain, left brain thing or whatever, but the people that listen to lyrics, and I feel like you're usually either one or the other, or both.
I feel like Taylor
Whether
Swift
you're like,
is she's such a captivating topic, to be fair,
yeah,
because
obviously,
yeah, there's a lot of different groups of people. For example, you're gonna have the people that love Taylor Swift no matter what, right? Regardless of what she puts out or whatever, they're just so overly Swifty that
yep.
that bias is just gonna
And if you
shadow.
say anything, you're good as dead.
Right, exactly. Then you got the people who are just hate her. And the word hate is so overused, but when it comes to Taylor Swift, there are people on this planet, and there are a lot of them, that hate Taylor Swift
with a passion
because of what she stands for. Not because of what she does or who she is, but because what she believes. So, whether what she believes politically, and, you know, she's openly an ally to LGBTQIA, as am I. She's an ally,
and
openly
then
admits.
being a heavy Christian.
Say what?
And then being a heavy Christian.
So she is a Christian. She is very, very Christian. She goes to church. She does all of that stuff. So that's two different sides of the same coin, some folks could say. But it is what it is. I feel like being a Christian does not preclude you from being a human. And as a human being, you have the responsibility to treat everybody with love and kindness.
Yep, I agree.
What a frickin' concept. And honestly, go ahead.
I think regardless of religion, upbringing, anything like that, that should be the statement.
Love and kindness.
Yeah.
I stream for a living sometimes. I will stream live. And a lot of times my stream title will be Kindness is Effortless. Mm-hmm. It does not take any effort to be kind.
It takes so much effort to be mean.
Exactly. Exactly right.
So much.
Like, it's so taxing to be angry and upset and mad at the world, and being kind is just there. It's easy. It's just there. And whether you like her or hate her, Taylor Swift is a kind human being.
Yep.
She gives of herself repeatedly, many times not looking for credit or you know, gravitas or whatever. She just does it because, you know, look, she's a billionaire, and a billion is a lot of frickin' money. And what are you going to do with all of that billion? You know,
the fact that she's giving it away is awesome.
I mean, is it not true that the Bible tells you to share what you have? So honestly, she's just doing what the Bible asks of her, and yet she gets attacked for it. So. But there are those people. There are those people who openly hate Taylor Swift because she's apparently a Democrat or a liberal, and she's an ally, and she's all of those things. And people just hate her because of that, not because her music is not for them or could be for them or whatever. It's just she's an awful human being because she believes differently than me. There's those people. Then you have the people that are traditional music fans that just don't like Taylor's sound. There's a lot of those folks. I don't care if she's an ally. I don't care if she likes Biden. I don't care about all of that. What I don't like is her music. And that's cool. Because I can understand that. I can vibe with that.
That's unbiased.
Yeah, that's easy to do. You either like it or you don't. But if you go into a song with bias and you already dislike the artist, you're always going to hate the song. Even if you like the song, your bias is going to tell you don't. You can't possibly like it. Mm-hmm. And sadly, you shouldn't ever try to go into a relationship with art when you have a bias, either you know, for or against whatever it is you're trying to form a relationship with. I mean, this isn't difficult to understand, really, right?
If so many people would just have an open mind, the world would be so different.
Yeah, it's
so different.
Hopefully we're getting there. I'll be truthful. Because of people like Taylor Swift, we're getting there. We are getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. And that's good. Kindness is becoming the go-to again. And hopefully it continues. And that's all I can say about that. But then you have the people like me who, I've never been a Swiftie. I've been anti-pop. I've been in the crowd where I didn't like her music because I'm a traditional country fan. I always have been. And she doesn't fit that umbrella for that style of music that I love dearly. But just because she's not doesn't mean I shouldn't listen to it. And there was a part of my life where I refused to listen to it because I know that it wasn't part of what I was digging at the time. And honestly, all I did was cause myself some Like it just,
Missing out.
yeah, I missed out. Right. You talked about Billie Eilish. What was the song you heard playing?
What was I made for
What was I
off
made
the
for?
party film?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had never would have heard that song. Um,
And that's a freaking amazing song too.
don't get me started. I love Billie Eilish for a lot of reasons, and we'll talk about that probably next week. So I don't want to get into her too much tonight because that's going to be a very intriguing
That's going to be
conversation.
a bigger conversation between me and you, if you can imagine that. That
That'll
might be a
that'll
one topic show.
that'll be the main event next week for sure.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that discussion. But my point is I missed out on a lot of music that has billions and billions of views on YouTube because of my own closed-mindedness. That is my fault.
I'm just now getting out of that.
Isn't it nice?
It is.
It is really nice.
Well, because here's the thing. I act so stubborn. I am stubborn, okay? But once I get out of my stubbornness, doesn't mean I'm going to let you know. I'm going to still sit here and say I hate this thing and then go over here and be like, oh, wait.
Yeah. But that's
me, though.
But what you're
like
talking about...
Swift, if you ask me if I like Taylor Swift, I'm going to probably be like, no.
But that's called growth.
I know. And I'll be like, not really, but now.
So,
no.
I am hoping that... Okay, so today is May 21st. I'm hoping in 10 days to get to hug your neck. I'm hoping. I have
10 days? What happens?
That's when you have your show in 10 days.
Oh, that's in 10 days?
Yeah, which means this will probably be out then. So you guys should come May 31st to
Union 28
Union 28 in Midlothian.
You can go to my website.
Yeah, KadieLynnMusic.com.
It's just KadieLynn.com.
I knew that. I was just testing y'all. It's in the links down below. You can find all the stuff to support me, support her down in the links below. Any final thoughts on Taylor Swift as we move on to our outro?
Okay. Honorable mentions, songs that we didn't talk about. I really liked Love of My Life. A lot. The lyrics on that as well. I really loved The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived.
I love that song.
I really liked that one. And then The Black Dog.
I have not heard that one.
That one you'll like a lot if you go listen to it.
So The Smallest Man That Ever Lived, I love the veiled lyrics, like the double meaning. It's like everything in that song had a double meaning to me.
Yeah.
Which is so
Absolutely.
cool. So cool. She's just lyrically incredibly talented. And I hear so many people say, oh, she's not that great of a songwriter. Like, what is your standard?
They don't listen. They don't know how to open their ears and listen.
Like, if Taylor Swift is not that great of a songwriter, is your standard like Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, and that's it? Like, that's... Christopherson might make it if we give him another couple years? Like, what is your standard exactly?
That. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's McCartney and Lennon and nobody else. No, give her a chance if you are an open-minded music fan. I have
and
on
check out the songs that we mentioned.
Yes, please. And we're going to put a link in the description below for the playlist. Not that she needs my help, obviously. I mean, Taylor Swift don't need our help, but it's always nice to have that stuff at your fingertips. That way, you know, if people want to listen while they're listening to us, they can do that, and you can do both at the same time.
Yep.
And that would be cool. Couple of things I want to talk to Kadie about before we end the episode. Okay, I have several ideas for the podcast. Now, first of all, if you didn't know, you might have figured it out, but Kadie and I have decided to do this weekly, and that means every week, not like we're just gonna mail it in, right? Like we're gonna do our best. Not that kind of weekly, WEAKLY, but weekly, as in every week. We're going to do that. Yep. That's the first thing. The second thing is Kadie is eventually going to write a jingle for this show.
Hey,
and I'm not calling her out. She thinks I am.
He is calling me out.
But no. So what we're going to do is she's going to write a jingle, but she's not going to get to write the jingle until perhaps we're gonna get together, her and I and the family, and hopefully we'll get her mama to come and a couple other folks or whatever, my wife and my family, and we're gonna meet up at a park and we're gonna film. We're gonna film like an open and a close,
Yes.
like an intro
Yes.
and an outro. It's gonna be hopefully very sitcom like.
I'm about it.
And so we have several ideas of which I've already showed you. But what
We
I
can do
need
like
for
wait. We can do a full house then.
yeah, we can. We're gonna do all kinds of shit. It's gonna be great. Oh my god, it's gonna be great. I can't wait. But so we're gonna do that. But what we need from y'all, if you want to give us ideas of scenes that we can shoot as part of this sitcom open for our episodes, this will go on every single show. Email us at the Chris and Kadie Show at gmail.com. Don't put the in there. The is not part of it. I will say it again. The Chris and Kadie Show at gmail.com. All spelled out. Give us some ideas for some sitcom ideas. Like, you guys know the open to, like, Three's Company, come and knock on our door. You know, like those kind of scenes. That's what we're looking for. So if you come up with something, you have an idea, let us know. If we use your idea, we will put your name in the credits of all episodes that feature the intro. That's the first thing. All right? Now,
Okay.
This is the other thing. Now, Kadie knew about that. She knew about that. She doesn't know about this thing that I'm going to tell her about.
Oh.
Starting next week, we are going to do our normal every week, like, pop culture relevant topics like we do every week.
Okay.
And then we're also going to do fake topics. And so this is going to be kind of fun, and it's going to be like a game. All right?
To see which is for the audience to guess which one's which?
Nope. Hold on. There's going to be 5 different games that we're going to utilize. We're not going to do them all on every episode, but we'll pick one and we'll just do that one on that episode. Here are the 5 games. The first one is called Don't Get Me Started. The second one is called Think About It. The third one is called World's Greatest Expert.
Okay.
Number 4 is called Illuminati. And number 5 is called Yes. Now, the way this works, each one of these games has a different vibe to it, a different mechanism. Mm-hmm. The first one, Don't Get Me Started, we will get a topic that will be randomly produced, probably from my wife. And then either me or Kadie or both will have to go on an angry rant about that topic, whatever it is, doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm about that.
It could be wiener dogs, or it could be Guinness beer, whatever it is. We have to angrily rant about it. All right, that's the first game. Second one is called Think About It, in which we will get a random topic, and then either me or Kadie or both must turn that topic into a conspiracy theory.
Oh, I like that. I like that one.
Game number 3 is World's Greatest Expert. That means we will give a false lecture about a topic that is supplied randomly from outside of us. So either through email, send us topics. But whatever it is, it could be Converse shoes. And then we will have to be the world's greatest expert on Converse shoes and give a fake lecture about them.
The sole is made out of armadillo skin.
Number 4, Illuminati. Illuminati means that the random person or email will give us 2 different topics. And then Kadie and I have to use conspiracy theories to try to connect those 2 topics together.
I like that.
Number 5, which I think is going to be the best of the lot, is going to be called Yes. And in this one, we must give like a proper accent, first of all, like a posh accent. Yes. And then somebody will give us a random topic or noun or something like that, and we have to give a fake background of that noun or topic or landmark. Like if somebody said the Statue of Liberty, you would be like, yes, the Statue of Liberty. I remember when I was such a young lad and we were on the Mayflower and we were bringing over one toe at a time. And let me tell you something, that chickadee's big toe is large and in charge. And so we would just come up with something, right?
Man, I'm gonna suck at that. You're so good.
Ah, yes, it was a fabulous trip across the golden sea of the Atlantic. You just have to
You're
come
gonna
up.
be funny because you're so good at it. I'm gonna be funny because it's gonna be such dipshittery.
It's going to be
You're not
great.
gonna do.
It's going to be great. So what we're going to do is we'll come up with one of these per episode. And then either from emails, hopefully people will start inundating us with emails for topic ideas. If we don't, that's fine. We'll pull them from somewhere else, either from my wife or my kids or your dog or Jackson or your mama or whoever.
Blade of grass out in my yard.
Or the blade of grass out in the yard could be the thing that we're yesing about. Ah, yes, the blade of grass in the yard. I remember. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to have super fun with this in the future. That's going to be something that we're going to start doing. And then hopefully Kadie and I will get together at the park soon. We're going to start filming our open. We'll have a jingle eventually, perhaps within the next century or so. And then just a sneak peek, I can guarantee that I think we're probably going to go with some combination of Billie Eilish's new album, which just came out, will be one of our topics for next week. And I think Kadie and I will finally talk about the whole spat between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. So we're going to be doing a whole lot of fake it till we make it next week. I think we'll talk about gaming next week too. What do you think?
I'm down.
Cool. So it is Boston Chris, it is she, Miss Kadie Lynn, and this has been episode 4 of the Chris and Kadie Show. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you share this everywhere, please. Hit the share button. That's going to help us grow, and growth is awesome, is it not?
Yes.
Say bye, Kadie.
Bye.